Welcome to EASL Studio from London. We are live broadcasting from the ILC 2022, the annual EASL's flagship meeting. It's a great pleasure to welcome you here. My name is Thomas Berg. I'm currently the Secretary General of EASL. Joining me today as moderator is Professor Aleksander Krag, the Vice Secretary. So, hello, Aleksander.
Hi, Thomas.
Yeah, it's exciting here, and as you perhaps known, the meeting already started. And Aleksander, you chaired also think tanks sessions. There were several today in the morning, and you're just coming from there. So what is it all about?
I had to interrupt it, but I think I couldn't miss out on this first studio. So I was chairing the one on alcohol-related liver diseases, an EASL ESPRA joint symposium. And I think I already have, the first part was very clinically oriented. So how do we treat alcoholic hepatitis? Is steroids really still the mainstay, and how it actually extends treatment? And when it doesn't work, then the second thing, what are the data to support transplant in these patients? And I myself also have a talk around how do we diagnose these things. So I think it was a great one, though I wished I could have been in several of the other think tanks, which I really also think had amazing programs.
And what do you think should we make out of these think tanks? Will be a kind of an afterlife of what has been discussed there, or?
I cannot imagine anything else. I think the clinical takeaways, I sent several tweets during that because I think disseminating these knowledge that really changes how we do and handle patients. We need to get that out in the community, not just in Europe, but worldwide, so we can advance clinical care. So I urge everybody else to use the ILC 2020 hashtag and then share the knowledge we have here for the benefit of our patients.
Yeah. Well, excellent. But I think now it's time really to introduce our guests. And I want to start first of all with you, Professor Norah Terrault from the University of California. And Norah Terrault is here in her position as the president-elect of ASLD and one of the course directors of the postgraduate course that will start a bit later today. So welcome, Norah.
Thank you so much. I'm delighted to be here. It's wonderful to be back in person. I cannot say how much I enjoy this, and to be in London. What an amazing city. It's just been wonderful to be back, and I'm excited about the meeting today.
Thank you very much. And from London, from the University College, we have Professor Mookerjee. And he is also the upcoming Secretary General of the British Association for the Study of the Liver Disease, Basel. So a warm welcome to you.
Thank you, Thomas. I'd like to also extend a warm welcome to all of the community here in London. It's been a long time for us to meet face to face, so I think this is a very an excellent opportunity, and I think a really warm welcome to all. And London's a beautiful city in the summer, notwithstanding the recent train issues. As Basel Secretary-elect, I think I see a lot of alignment with the values of EASL in terms of education and training and many of the other sort of ventures in terms of sustainability and community hepatology. So I think there's a lot that we share, and really looking forward to the meeting. I think there's a great couple of courses being run over the next day and a half, and the think tanks too.
Yeah, thanks a lot. And last but not least, we have Professor Stan de Graaf from Amsterdam University, and he is one of the course director of the Basic Science seminar we are running today. So a warm welcome to you.
Thank you. Yeah, looking forward to the meeting. So we have a Basic Science seminar. So really to interact between basic scientists and clinicians. This interaction, of course, works best if you actually meet each other in the same room. That's a unique opportunity that we have here finally again.
Yeah. So what we really want to provide you, and especially to you who are attending digitally, really to give you in the morning a kind of an overview what to expect and perhaps what you want to see today. And Norah, I think we have a wonderful postgraduate course, I want to say, and it's I think the name is the future of clinical hepatology, but with a lot of subtopics. Perhaps you can a bit refer to it, what delegates may expect.
Well, I think we're going to emphasize clinical hepatology, right? So this is really sort of, we're all coming out of pandemic kind of times, and now thinking about where are we at, what's the future is really the emphasis of our course this year. And we have, I think, really very exciting sessions. The first one to start the sessions today is on innovations in radiology, endoscopy, and even robotic surgery. So we're going to cover several different areas, but really focusing on where are we really in the right now and in the immediate future, where are we going to be with these sort of innovations and how are they going to help us as clinicians in managing our patients. So that's the session that we're going to lead off with this morning. And then the second session is on liver support and regeneration. So I think this is really relevant. You just spoke about alcohol-associated hepatitis. We've seen so much of that during the pandemic, actually. More cases, many of them coming to transplant, many of them potentially in need of liver support. We think about the cases of pediatric acute hepatitis. You know, so there's so much acute liver failure, acute on chronic liver failure, that this is a very relevant topic to all of us. So we're going to have some exciting talks around liver support, around liver regeneration, hepatocyte transplantation. So I think a very exciting and very relevant session, given where we're at with many of these current clinical issues. And then our final session today is on what we're calling frontiers in biomarkers. And it first session is on sort of, is there still a role for liver biopsy? I think we have this question every year, and we'll ask it this year as well and sort of say, is it time now finally to put the biopsy to rest? So really talking about markers for fibrosis, for example. Then we have one that's focused on like MELD and sort of where we're going in terms of trying to characterize disease severity. And then finally, we're going to talk about sort of the personalized approach to HCC. All of those, again, very, very clinically relevant topics, and there's been a lot of advances, I'd say, over the last several years, so we're going to try to build on that and sort of take us forward. Yeah. So an exciting day, I think. I'm looking forward to having everyone who's online as well as in person join us.
Yeah. Well, you're also very much interested in biomarkers. I sometimes wonder how long does it take, you know, until a new biomarker enters clinical routine, right? Or what do you think?
See how many enters your clinical practice. So we have thousands of publications, but actually few really enter. Right. So it's a long track. But where does it all start, Stan? So could you maybe, I'm not really a basic scientist, but we have this basic science seminar today, you're in charge of it, and I'm sure you got a lot of exciting things, but can you tell me why we shouldn't miss out of that and what to expect in the basic science seminar?
Yeah, so what you can expect either as a basic scientist or as a clinician is a glimpse into the future. So as a basic scientist, you will learn a lot more about molecular mechanisms. So we really go from the macroscopic point of view to the microscopic point of view, even on a molecular level. But as a clinician, you might learn a lot about upcoming molecular targets for therapy. And in this symposium, we focus on metabolic disease, metabolic liver disease, including NASH. And today we have 3 sessions. One is about liver metabolism and organ communication. Of course, if you talk about metabolic liver disease, it's not isolated liver problem. Often it's part of the metabolic syndrome. Second part is about liver cancer, which is also related to liver metabolism. And finally, it's more about immunometabolism. So in these 3 sessions, you will learn a lot. What's currently going on with molecular mechanism, new developments, but also from a clinical point of view, what the future will bring us, hopefully.
Sounds very exciting. I'm sad I cannot be in both, but then fortunately we can have it online when we get home and catch up on it.
Yeah, of course, all can be also watched and viewed on demand. But Stan, what do you think is really the most either rewarding or revealing innovation in basic science that may enter into clinic or really give a new understanding on basic mechanism to a certain disease, or I don't know, cancer development? Or is there something spectacular you expect, a certain talk that will be really act like a game changer, or is it not at this stage?
This thing.
Yeah, I think we have similar stuff going on all 3 sessions that are being broadcasted or happening today. So, for instance, what I really looking forward to is the story about the immunometabolism in the liver. So, which I really didn't expect, but new immune cells have been identified last year, which I think is a remarkable feature. So Charlotte Scott will give a presentation on this. And I'm quite positive that these type of inventions will also lead to novel molecular targets. And the same is with hepatocellular carcinoma. Also there, new targets have been identified. But also other roles have been identified for players which we know already for a long time. So for instance, p53 and also the stress kinases. Novel roles of these well-known proteins have been uncovered, and that will be presented today.
Yeah. Raj, yeah. Sorry, is there anything from your perspective you're really looking forward to?
I think there's so much to see, Thomas. One of the things that is a common theme across all the think tanks this morning is this idea of identifying patients, whether you're in drug discovery, which patients are you targeting? If you're interested in the decompensation of cirrhosis, Baveno, it's all about finding the right population, because we know one size cannot fit all, and we have to actually stratify therapies based on a very strict population that we're actually identifying, and that brings in the non-invasive markers and the non-invasive tests. I think that's quite an exciting change in the way we're certainly trying to practice, but it's a theme across all the think tanks. I'd love to see some of that actually distilling into actual inputs and guidance in practice. Whether that takes a long period of time, for example, with some of these markers, remains to be seen.
Yeah, thanks a lot. Norah, I think in the postgraduate course, it's quite practical, so it's always also based on case description, is it right?
So we have a sort of a mixture this year. So some of them are case-based, absolutely. You'll see that they'll start with a case and kind of work through it and sort of how it applies to certain areas. I'll also highlight that we have kind of a question and answer period. So I think the course has opportunity to be interactive as well. So really encourage those that are attending to really take advantage of that feature. But yes, not every session is case-based, but today that's a common feature of the presentations, is to start with a case to sort of set the stage.
Yeah.
Again, reminding us of just, we're really focused on this clinical end.
So the audience is really involved and can ask questions. And of course, you can also, if you are attending digitally, you can also write your question down. It's the same here for the studio. You will find it all on the EASL app, on the EASL Events app, where you can find studio and you can put your question there and ask here our guests. Well, is there anything else from you?
Yes, I think I have a final question here. So as the EASL Secretary General, Thomas, what are you looking forward to? I know today you have the opening ceremony, the big thing, we all look forward to that. But we've been working on this for months, so what do you particularly today look forward to?
To be honest, I'm looking forward that everything runs smoothly and that all the delegates will have a great experience. This is really my main concern for the day. Unfortunately, quite often in this position, you do not have the time really to savor the science as we want, but really to give the best face-to-face, but also digital event for our delegates. This is really what I'm concerned now. Perhaps tomorrow it may look a bit different.
That's a great vision, I think. And we will make that work.
Okay, so I think we come to an end for this very brief early morning London Calling studio session. It's just that I would like to remind you on other studio sessions that are coming up today. So we have a lunch meeting today, where we have an industry roundtable where we will discuss with industry partners and experts in the field hepatitis B and hepatitis D treatment, of course, the big issue of whether we can cure it. If you want to learn more about the basic science and the postgraduate course, today in the evening we have a dedicated studio session where we can really discuss about what has been presented, what is the take of the experts of what has been presented. So please join us there. And with this, Aleksander, I think we want to thank all of you, our experts. Thank you so much for organizing these seminars and the postgraduate course. A great thank you to Basel and to you, Raj, for joining us.
Looking forward to a great day today.
Okay. Thanks again. Bye-bye. See you soon.
you.
Bye-bye.